Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, today we're going to learn about the only thing that Meghan Markle knows how to close. Because we know it's certainly not her mouth or her legs. But I digress. She'll close. Meghan's ex-husband's reaction to finding out she was dating Prince Harry is revealed. Now, we know Trevor has not said anything, not a word. So this is coming through his friend Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel has claimed that Meghan Markle's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, was convinced his former spouse would marry Prince Harry from the moment she started dating the royal. The Skinny Girl Margarita founder and original Real Housewife of New York, 54, well, she's 55 now, got to know Meghan's film's producer ex, so that's Trevor, at around the time her relationship with Harry became public in 2016, while she was still bonking Corey. Anyways, Bethany, who had no idea who Meghan was back then, nobody did, Z-list actress, claims that Trevor was immediately in no doubt that then the Suits actress would marry for a third time, and have herself a royal wedding. And less than 2 years later, he was correct, with Meghan and Harry walking down the aisle at St. George Chapel, Windsor. Bethany briefly dated Trevor, who is now happily married to his beautiful second wife, who is a billionaire, Tracy Kurland, and his previous marriage quickly came up in conversation as they got to know each other. He said his ex was a woman from a show called Suits. This is Bethany talking now. He said his ex was a woman from a show called Suits. I didn't know what that show was. Nobody did. I don't know one person who ever watched it. I didn't know the woman, she said. Months later, I see pictures showing Harry's dating someone and texted him, "Is this your ex?" Trevor said, "Yep." She went on in a text to him, "Do you think she's going to close?" As in a nod to close the deal, as in marry. And Bethany claims Trevor replied knowingly, "Oh, she'll close," because that's the only thing she does, close. She added, "I don't want to get into more about that, but he was like, she'll close." So Bethany Frankel said that Trevor knew that Meghan Markle was a salesperson, a snake oil salesperson. And actually, if you're not in sales, it's a common term in sales. And I learned that as a financial advisor. If you got a big deal, you meet with them a couple of times, and then if you got the deal, it's cause we closed the deal. Or car salesmen also say we closed the deal, meaning that it's a done deal. I tried to sell them something and they bought it. So he knows that Meghan was an operator, was a player, was used to closing men on offers, right? That's what prostitutes do. They close after they get the sale and the money's on the counter, the legs close. Anyways, let's ask the cards. How does Meghan feel about this? What's the energy around this? How true is this? Have we been right all along? I mean, that Meghan is an operator. Did Queen Elizabeth saw right through her? Anne saw right through. Everybody saw right through her except for Harry. Harry was the one being love bombed. And so Trevor knew the experience it is for Meghan Markle to close you on a deal. How many here think that Meghan only married Trevor because he was a producer and could get her an acting job for 7 minutes? Probably longer than she lasts. Anyways, shall we begin? Oh, look how chatty the cards are. They're like, yes, let's get into this gossip. Queen of Cups in reverse. She actually was acting quite cray-cray. The Queen of Cups in reverse is really crazy. Very emotional, very almost bipolar. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if Harry saw that, so if she was like emotional and nobody loves me, nobody wants to marry me. Yes, it's true. That story is completely true. That is the truth. Trevor knew that Meghan has a system and a way of getting men and how to get them to marry her. Oh yeah, it was all about the money. All about the money, all about promising to be a good wife and a good mother, and let's go make a little house, um and manifestation. The Queen of Pentacles is the manifester of all the court cards. So she manifests this. And also the Queen of the Pentacle is my ring card, my Ace of Pentacles. If somebody has a reading and like, will I ever get married? And they get the Ace of Pentacles, that's the ring. That's actually the Ace of Diamonds. So that's why that's a ring. So there she is holding her diamond ring. Oh, the Tower. She almost lost it. The High Priestess in reverse. Look at the High Priestess in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, Queen of Pentacles. She was pulling out all the female stops. All the female stops. This actually could be Harry falling in love with her. Out of the blue. Cracked him right in the head, right in the crown. Look, he lost all his hair. All he's got left is a few pieces of dandelion left. I think that she pulled out all her feminine powers to make him, to close him, to make him fall in love with her and get the ring. Absolutely, she did, with big promises of being a fantastic wife. That's all I want to be, is a wife and mother. And yeah, she wanted to be the Queen of Pentacles. She wanted to be the queen. Wow. Ruin. Oh my God, 2 10s in a row. 10 of Swords upright, 10 of Cups in reverse. The Magician, there she is. She manufactured that. The Magician on top of the Tower. This is Mercury and Mars. This is definitely coming up with something destructive. And look at it, is ruin, and there is no happy family. It's ruined Harry, and there is no happy family. And she did manufacture all of this. This is all manufactured. There's no love here. Harry may have fallen madly in love with her. Why was Harry the only one who didn't see it? Also, 10 of Cups in reverse on top of the Queen of Pentacles shows that she's not going to be any of those things. She's going to be a terrible wife, and she's going to be a terrible mother, possibly not even be able to have children. It's always going to be, she's going to be in control. She's on top here, but it's always going to be, the family's never settled. So Trevor this story is absolutely true. Absolutely true. This is the love bombing right here. The love bombing, making it, the Emperor and Temperance in reverse. We have to remember there was no emperor when all this went down. There was a Prince of Wales and the Queen, but you know who would have been the emperor is Prince Philip. And he was the one who was very vocal about Meghan being an operator and manufacturing Harry to fall in love with her love bombing. But look at this. Prince Philip knew this was a disaster waiting to happen. He knew, and with this Temperance card in reverse, he knew he was dealing with the devil. Strategy. It was all a strategy. This is the operator card. This is sneaking away with something that isn't yours, but eventually it comes back. So, for example, and I've said this before because this is swords, so this is thoughts and words and whatnot. If somebody steals your confidence, You know, maybe they say, oh, you're stupid, or oh, that, you know, that dress looks really awful on you, or geez, have you gained weight, or who did your hair, you know, and they steal your confidence in some way. Well, when it's in reverse, somehow you get your confidence back. Maybe somebody else, you know, placates you somehow and says, don't listen to them. um Somehow, with Trevor watching what was going on, it somehow got his mojo back, somehow got his confidence back. So perhaps he was blaming himself for a lot of things that went on. Perhaps I'm thinking that he knew Meghan couldn't have children, would never want a family, ever. I'm also thinking Trevor's like, that was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. In some respects, watching what's going on right now with Harry and Meghan, um, is brought back his confidence that it wasn't him. He didn't do anything wrong. She was an operator. And obviously he read right through her once he said, my ex is dating a royal. Like, and then seeing, you know, 2 years later, the wedding, and knowing that she's just, you know, she's not a hooker, but she plays one on TV. I think it helped him a little bit, knowing that he didn't do anything wrong. It was all her. So in some respects, he got some of his confidence back. Everything made more sense to him, what went on. He could see that he was being played and love bombed for something that she wanted. Once she got it, she moved on. And there's something there that he is quite smug about. He also believes that, look at the Eight of Cups here is stalking me once again. I think he believes that at some point, Harry's going to realize and walk away. Yeah, there he is, the Hermit in reverse. He also knows Harry's not having any sex right now. Ace of Wands in reverse. Wow, Four of Swords in reverse and Four of Pentacles upright. Betrayal. He thinks the same thing's going to happen to him is going to happen to Harry. He believes that at some point, Harry will be left with less than, and it's over. It's over. And there'll be betrayal. Let's see what the next card. Yeah, there she is, the Leo, the strength, trying to tame the royal family. But she's all innocent and whatnot. And also look at the infinity symbol. She'll forever find another victim and love bomb them and control them. And until they're tame around her, until she's had enough, and she'll move on. There'll always be betrayal. But he will find out. He thinks that he actually does think this same thing's going to happen to Harry as that happened to him. But Harry's going to be left with less money. Harry's going to be hanging on to very little. Interesting, the children didn't show up here. I think Trevor knows she cannot have children. I think Trevor knows that was part of she never wanted to have children. And she may have told him, oh yeah, I want to be a fantastic mother and wife and do all those things. And then once the marriage happens, kapow, no, I want my acting career, my 7 minutes of fame, so that for the rest of my life, people can call me a D-list cable TV actress. He thinks, yeah, he doesn't think it's going to last. He thinks that at some point she'll be done taming him and she'll move on. But this story is true. This story is true. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.